Jim Dacus down here with the Friends of the Sea Lions. I'm talking to Karen, and Karen is going to give us a little rundown of what's going on down here. This is a beautiful day, Karen, and you got a lot of friends here.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Why don't you tell us what you're doing here for the Friends of the Sea Lions?
Okay. Well, we're a marine mammal center, and basically what we do is take care of sick and injured seals and sea lions like these that beach themselves along our Orange County coastline. And we have a volunteer staff who donate their time to help these animals, which are then released back to the ocean in a healthy condition.
Oh, that sounds great. It looks like some of them are ready for release. They look very strong and healthy.
Yeah, definitely. This one here, believe it or not, came in with severe pneumonia and parasitic infections and all kinds of internal problems. But he's more than ready to go now. It's just figure out how we're going to get him out of here.
Karen, for those that are uneducated, why don't you tell us a little bit how you distinguish between a sea lion and a seal? It looks like there's a little difference here. Why don't you explain it to the folks?
They're very different. They're almost opposite from each other. You can even see with our animals here, the California sea lion, which is a typical sea lion, will have a very long neck and pointed snout with little external ears sticking out. Whereas a seal, like this one here, will have almost no neck, a stubby nose, and no external ear flaps sticking out. And you can notice how the sea lion here, he can walk on all four flippers, whereas a seal kind of undulates along the ground. And sea lions are the ones you'll see barking and doing the tricks in circuses and stuff, whereas sea lions or seals aren't as able to, they're not as agile as a sea lion is.
Karen, tell me, how many times a day do you feed these animals?
Twice a day normally. However, when we get real sick animals, sometimes they need care as much as 4 to 5 times a day.
Very good. Now it looks like you got a real hungry group over here that are not satisfied, and these beautiful girls here are trying to make sure that everybody gets their fair share. How do you know how many to give each one?
Well, basically by their weight. Each of these elephant seals right now, because they are malnutrition, should get between 16 and 20 fish per feeding. As they gain weight, we'll cut it down to maybe 12 to 14 fish.
I see. Very good. I noticed that these 3 little small ones, what do you call these 3 small ones over here?
These here are the harbor seal, and you'll find them here along our coastline and also back east. They're only about a month old. They get up to be about 400 pounds, though, at full grown.
400 pounds. My goodness, you got a long way to go. What about this large elephant seal?
He'll get to be about 7,700 pounds. They're the ones that get that huge snout on their nose.
And he looks like he's pushing about 500-600 pounds, right?
That's right on. About that much.
And how old would you say he is?
He is about 19 months old right now.
19 months. And what about the sea lion here?
Yeah, they're yearlings. They're born every May, June, and you can tell by their size that they're about a year old. This one here came in, you can see the rings on his neck from a gill net that's been caught around his neck.
Very interesting. I noticed that there doesn't seem to be any real animosity between the 3 that are in this cage. Is there any fighting of any serious nature?
There can be. Elephant seals and sea lions don't always get along. Just as long as they stay away from each other, they seem to do fine.
And if their belly's full?
And their belly's full, yes.
Anything else you'd like to tell us about this group of monsters here?
Well, these are about 4-month-old baby elephant seals, both males and females. Again, the males will get up to be quite large. The females won't, get quite as large. But they're getting pretty close to being released themselves.
Very, very good. Could we have one word with one of the feeders here? How many fingers do you have when you get through?
Excuse me?
Yeah. How you doing on your fingers? You count your fingers when you're finished?
Oh, there.
I noticed you put them through the fence without any caution. Aren't you afraid they might snap one off thinking you're a fish?
Not really. I'm used to it. That's all. No, I got a couple wounds.
Okay, well, listen, thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you.
I think we're about ready to take off, but it's wonderful that you folks are doing these kind of things, and that looks like they're all going to get very good care and get back out into their natural habitat. Thanks again, Karen.
Thank you for coming.
This is John, ladies and gentlemen, and John's going to give us a few more comments. You heard from Karen earlier, and she gave you a very good rundown of what's going on here, but maybe John might add a few other things relative to how many they process through here in the season.
That's a good question. That depends on the conditions. Right now, we're seeing about almost an animal a day.
An animal a day. That sounds like a pretty high number.
That is.
Where do you get them from?
They come all over Orange County, from as far up north as Seal Beach to San Onofre. In fact, one of our little harbor seals that came in yesterday came in from the San Onofre power plant. He came in the water course that sucked them through the channel and came up inside the plant. And they netted him out, and we then picked him up. He's a real healthy animal, and he's ready to go back. We're just going to find another spot for him.
So when you get your animals from various people that find them, and you're called, and then you come and pick them up and check.
We get calls from private citizens, or we get calls from animal control people, Newport Beach Animal Control, the lifeguards, the harbor departments. We made a rescue off of a sea line, on a sea line off of Dana Point that was out on the buoy out there that was trapped with a gill net around his neck and actually hooked onto the buoy and couldn't get off. We had to pry the thing off to get him off. And so that was the harbor department, and most of the lifeguard departments they all call us, and they all know about us, and so we just get calls. Either they can bring them to us, the animal groups, or we will go out and pick them up if we get a chance to.
For those of you that haven't had an opportunity to come down and listen and talk to these seals and watch what goes on here, this is a service that is a donation. It's all voluntary.
That's
and
right. Yeah.
You survive on the contributions that people make that have an interest in helping the less fortunate animals.
Yeah, I'd like to stress that this facility, as you mentioned, is here and it's open to the public. And we invite anybody to come down and take a look at us, look at the animals, and listen to what we have to say about the need to understand the environment and how these animals play a major role in it. And you're right, we are at the mercy of donations, and so we just keep struggling along. We try to provide a really good educational packet for the community. We have school groups that come through here, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Brownies, and things like Girl Scouts that come to the facility on tours, and they get a slide presentation so that they can learn more about it, and they get a chance sometimes to actually help us feed, and they learn how they can help the environment, and how they can help an animal that may be on the beach that's sick or injured.
That sounds really great. Yeah. This is my first time down here, and I must tell you that it's really interesting and very exciting, and I really encourage everyone that hasn't had an opportunity to come down and visit these creatures, and I think you will learn something. I certainly have. And John, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And great job you're doing.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
For the